Okay guys, I just kind of wanted to give you a brief look at maybe what the AquaSpy probes have been showing over the last 2 weeks here as well. And I wanted to look at a probe that we have in the sand and one in the heavy ground. And I'm going to be looking at this one in the sand here first. And this is the summary page that you're seeing here with the graph. This green area is where you kind of want to roughly keep your moisture level in. This blue line up here is a refill point, so that would be saturated. And each one of these stair steps here, coming down to here and dropping down, that's crop water use. That's the pull of whatever the root depth, that just whatever that rooting depth was at that time. That's the amount of drawdown that we've had in a week. And so we can see here back on last Friday, week ago here morning, that's that rain that came through and refilled the refill point up here. But the interesting thing is when you come down and you click on this root growth button here, you can see where the root new rooting depth has clicked on, and the sensor has picked up that there's been root activity. There's been some water pull from those areas. And this field, it says right now that it's rooted down to 24 inches. And I would say that would be correct. And so again, if I click this on here, you can see that back here, just today, we had an increase. It kicked onto that root, that 24-inch rooting depth down here, and it added that moisture level to it. So you see that little spike increase in here. That wasn't a rain event, or it was not an irrigation event. That was a root system got clicked on, and so it started to add that moisture. But you can see that all that really did was even though we added another profile to it, it just really didn't raise that overall moisture level up, because it tells you kind of how dry we've been. And then you can see from here, we were probably only on a 12-inch rooting depth back here on Saturday last week. Big pull, 2 days basically in here, pulled that all the way down into the green. And now we've had some pretty heavy days here. So actually, if you look at the top of the green, this is last Saturday, July 12th, Sunday at midnight, basically right here at the top of that green. We went all the way down to the bottom of the green by Wednesday midnight. So that's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, that's 4 days is all, and we come down here. We've had root sensors get clicked on, but we're also kind of at the bottom range over here to where that a shot of water needs to be kind of put on here. And we look at the moisture sensors themselves. I'm going to blow this up. I have them spread out. And you got a 4-inch is pink. Blue is 8. This is a 12, 16, 20, 24, and 28, and so forth on down. And you can see that kind of matches up in that summary page just when it kicked on. So the 12-inch here probably kicked on, probably last Saturday like they had. Then we got the 16-inch, and that kicked on here probably Sunday, Monday. The 20-inch also kicked on. We got nice root activity. And then here we're looking at the 24-inch sensor, and that probably kicked on Wednesday, maybe Wednesday into Thursday. And actually now I would say that sensor by Sunday's probably going to kick on. I bet that 28-inch sensor just kicked on here yesterday afternoon. And so we've got some nice activity. We've got some nice drawdown in here. We can see the flat lines down here. In the rest of them, there's just no activity. There hasn't been any pull on here. But you can see the amount of water usage, ET rates that have been drastic on here. Next thing is then it'll be interesting to see when this pivot goes across here, how far that it does go down depending upon what the rate amount is. And when he does irrigate, will it go up to here? Will it go all the way up and refill, or will it only come down to here? And then that's the thing to kind of be paying attention to. Where's my refill here, either with a rainfall or an irrigation? And if it only goes to here, and I was putting on 3/4 of an inch, I'm going to probably start to run into some problems, because I cannot just get that to penetrate down here either further. I need to slow that down, keep it running, or whatever. And so that's kind of the thing that we're looking at here a little bit, is how dry are we getting to be down here. And if that trend stays where we're hot, no rain, this crop wants to keep moving. It's growing fast. If you can keep the water to it, that top will get so dried out on here, because you can see the 8 and 4 is basically back to where they were with that rain event. Our 12 is now is dry or drier than the rain event. All this whole profile has got down here. If we let that get too dry, then all of a sudden we're not going to be able to ever really push any water down into that 24-inch level into the second foot really at all as we get later, as this crop continues to increase in ET rates just as it matures and reaches the reproductive stage. Then if we look at the heavy ground, we can kind of see something very similar to that. This would be a silt loam. Had went down to here. This is back on a week ago, basically. And the 12-inch kicked on. Again, I'm going to click on the root growth. So here we've got a 12-inch. This is saying that this one is rooted down to 16 inches. So that spiked it up here. Then we had the rain event, and he had an irrigation event, raised it up here, and then that rain event that come through actually refilled it back up, made it, got it saturated basically again within that profile of the rooting depth. It's only counting what's active. It's not going to count the second and third foot. Anything that's not active, it's not going to count that. And so it kind of refilled that, but we're only living in the top 12 inches. And then all of a sudden we come down here, heavy usage again. Then we had another spike, that 16-inch depth turned on, and that turned on, probably here Monday at the first of the week. And so I bet we've got something that's really starting to show at a 20-inch. But again, you can see that same thing going on here in this clay, as much as that sand last Saturday at midnight or noon, let's say, was the top of that green. We're sitting here now basically a week later, and we've used all of that up. That inch, the irrigation circle, that's gone, that's already used up. If we look at our sensors, breaking down here, we can see what the 4 and the 8, the 12 is doing. And the 16 is kicked on. You can just kind of see a little ripple effect. And personally, I would almost think, when you see how flat this line is at the 28-inch, I would almost venture to say that his 20-inch is kicked on, and really probably has a little bit of his 24, and some of those just kicked on yesterday, maybe yesterday afternoon, yesterday evening, and the sensor just hasn't quite picked them up. But again, we've got some good drawdown on here. If we put it down and I take the spread out a little bit, you can kind of see all of a sudden that 12 is coming down, the 8 and the 4. Here's the 24-inch, 16 and 20-inch are kind of running here. Again, it's one of those things that we've had a lot of drawdown. We've had a heavy rate of water use, which we should, considering the heat that we've had and the low humidities that we've had over the last 2 weeks. So you can see basically bottom line is here, that moisture that we're applying, any rainfall, it's not lasting overly long, and you want to make sure that you're staying ahead of this game here so that you don't go and all of a sudden we decide that I'm going to start turning something on here in another week or 2 weeks, and it just stays like this, and we've started to pull out of our profile down below, and we cannot push water any further. And that's just kind of an update on that. So thank you.